This show is proudly sponsored by Cobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to Cobb.com, where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit Cobb.com now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
G'day guys, hope you're all well. Welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Podcast. Once again, we kick the day off looking at the markets as we do 5 days a week, and Bitcoin's pulled back into another round number. Now, why do I like this at the moment? Well, simply put, we've got a downtrend now on the daily, a lower high and now a lower low that was printed, and look, we do seem to have some momentum to the downside. Look, I do see there being a deeper pullback. Of course, I've spoken a lot to the 35.25% pullbacks that we have on average, and we have seen about a 35% pullback. I can really see us going a bit deeper. I can also see reasons for us to bounce here, but I've got to trade the trend. And trading the trend is all I do. So with that being said, I mean, the 4 hours got a wonderful little cradle right there right now. Candle's going to close in the next 15 minutes. I'm keeping a very close eye on that. Currently, we've got Bitcoin at $9,643, up 2.33%. Of course, the Facebook, I think it's live right now. The second part of Congress talking about Libra. It'll be interesting to see the effect it has on the market, if it has any at all. Either way, I'm keeping a very close eye on this, and yeah, I'm pretty pumped about the cradle that's setting up at the minute. Last time we saw this back up at 11,000, we saw a cradle set up. It did plummet over $1,000, and putting a lot of people into profit there that know what the cradle trade is. Moving on to Ethereum, very similar here on Ethereum. It's actually up 6% right now, sitting at $210. We did struggle around $200 yesterday, but a bit of a bounce. Back into the cradle zone again. It's already triggered. I did not get a trade on this one. It's at 210, as I said, and it's up 6%. EOS, well, it's already had a really, really nice move. I actually got a video out this morning to my members, and if I had have just not thought about them, I would have got the trade on. I am not short on EOS right now because I was, as I say, doing the video for members. That's not to say I won't get a pullback into the cradle zone right now throughout the day. I will be happy to short this. I love it when a cradle sets up with a flat level, keeping a very close eye on EOS. It's sitting at 384. It's up 5% as we speak. Stellar Lumens is a shame we can't short it, but it's at 8 cents flat right now, up 2%, and it just continues to grind lower. Not much really going on there, not much change at all. XRP has bounced off that 28 cent mark, $28, wouldn't that be nice? Off that 28 cent mark. And look, honestly, I'm not looking to trade it here. You know, we're sitting at 30.9 cents, up 5% for the day. It's sitting around support. We may see a bounce from here. We may not. Just because it's at support doesn't mean it will bounce. Just because it's in a channel doesn't mean it will go back to the top of that channel. So again, one that I'm not really that interested in. Litecoin had a fairly good bounce yesterday, 12.66% up at $89.59. It does represent a fairly strong bounce, but it's bounced back up into the cradle zone on these higher time frames like the 12-hour. Nothing there once again for me to trade. Litecoin leading the way in the top 10 as far as bouncing back goes. Bitcoin Cash, some of my guys got some good trades on it a little while back on the small cradle candle and the 61.8% fib. It's moved lower. It's hit 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and now there's potential for it to move lower again. There's nothing really there for me right now. Currently, the price is at $290.22. It's up 2.84%. Binance against Tether. Now, here's the thing. Binance against Tether right now at $27.53. It's had a strong bounce again, up 9.75%. Another one that doesn't really interest me today for any shorting, but across looking at it on Bitcoin, there is the potential for that trend to reverse. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the day and into tomorrow. Tron is up 8.61%, sitting at 2.2. Beautiful little bearish candle in that cradle zone right there. Another absolutely wonderful potential little trade there if you know what you're looking for. And a lovely cradle right there. Good convergence across a 4-hour and 8-hour. It does to me look lower. It looks like the whole market may have another leg down today in my eyes. And coming finally to Cardano. Now, there was a little cradle here that's already triggered. I didn't get this. I wasn't up early enough. It's at 5.4 cents, up 6% today. But look, a beautiful move into that cradle zone. Wonderful little setup, a nice little start to that move. We'll see how we go throughout the day. But certainly, this market at the moment, in my eyes, is looking lower at this stage. So wrapping it back up, coming into Bitcoin, talk to that again. That 4-hour candle is there. There is some support down around that $9,000 mark. As a matter of fact, that was the point for which it was actually about 8,900-ish, right? So call it 9, as that's a round number. There is some support there. Now, we may see a bounce from there. So if I do get short on Bitcoin, I will be looking to scale out before that level. Look, we could see further downside. We could get it all the way down to 8,000. But for the time being, I'm going to trade the trend, be aware that 9,000 is approaching, that there is some support there, and we'll have to wait and see how the day plays out. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to trade well. I want you to trade safe. Hopefully, you've got a number of these short trades on. If you're in Sydney next weekend, you haven't got your spot booked in, we do still have a couple of spots available. So get across to tradercobb.com and get yourself paid up and registered to come along. Also, any other cities, we've got Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth, and Tasmania also available there, guys. So get in, get your spot locked down before it is too late. And if you are anywhere else in the world and you'd like to come along when we come to your city, then put the registration details in so we know what city and what country we are going to next. Have a great day. Bye for now. This show is proudly sponsored by tradercobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to tradercobb.com, where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit tradercobb.com now.